everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Everything in Between. We are back, minus the Ryan doors, as you can see. We've got tons of space on the couch now because that guy is just huge and he just always man spreads the whole thing. Everyone always says that in the podcast. Like,
he man spreads?
Yeah, like we can't focus because Ryan's always like, just like...
On show?
Yeah.
He's on display.
Like he wants to be painted.
Yeah.
Right in the middle too.
He thinks he's an Adonis. He thinks he's an
We
Adonis.
keep saying that, so he's just posing like one, I guess.
Yeah, we've put him on a pedestal. We've pumped his tyres up too much. Now we're going to deflate him.
How are we going to do that?
Oh, beat the shit out of him.
Well, it's gone now.
In the dark alley, beat him up.
We'll just trash his house while he's
Just
gone.
trash his house, yeah.
Just drink his tea and raid his cupboard.
Open his packets of tea but not use them and then eat his chocolate ripples.
Tristan literally opened a bag of tea, smelt it, and he's like, nah. He put it back in, and I watched him do it.
It wasn't even
like,
a pack of tea, it was an individual sachet.
And I was like, you can't just, I'll drink it, whatever.
Nah, what difference does it make? You go to T2 and you get like bags just loose in there. It doesn't need to be in that.
You also threatened to lick a cookie and put it back.
Yeah, I threatened to do it.
It doesn't need to be in like the bags. You just
I don't think tea needs to be in that little individual bag it comes in. I think it's just more that's nice.
Surely the aroma just kind of leaks out though, no?
Yeah, but I don't think you
flavour.
run out of aroma. I don't think there's like a limited amount of aroma.
Well, what about like there's the car tent things?
Oh, they probably dry out.
So
But they don't have.
It's not going to try out.
Well, it doesn't have.
It's already dry.
Well, that's got flavour. You're meant to drink it. That thing you're not meant to. Oh, please don't drink it.
But what if I want to have the aroma with the...
Well, you get that when you put. Okay, you know what? This isn't what we're doing. We're not doing this. What's been going on, boys?
Has it really been a week since last time? It feels longer than that.
It feels a lot longer than last week.
Oh wait, we went to Palms.
We went to
Bro,
get.
that was an experience.
What a night.
That was
Oh my
so
God.
funny.
I think that was the funniest dinner I've ever had.
Yeah.
Like, no joke. I just died. I think I laughed a lot more than I tried eating.
I think I cried tears that day.
Yeah.
I definitely
I know I cried tears.
Many jokes were said that cannot be mentioned on this podcast, but it was funny.
Sometimes I wish we could just say what we say though.
Oh, yeah,
But then I'm kind of curious to see what kind of reception it would get.
I know what kind of reception it would get.
Would it get cancelled?
We get cancelled in an instant. We get cancelled by our own friends.
No, we. We or you?
It's not. It's not me. But every now and then you got to let loose a little bit.
Yeah.
Nah, dude. I say some stupid shit. I don't mean any of it. Obviously, I'm just trying to be funny. Sometimes you got to work real hard to get the laugh.
Man, the floodgates were open that night, mate. Like,
Mate, sometimes you got to toe the line.
Unfiltered.
Dams just crashed and bursted open.
Bro,
We
in
just-
public as well.
Yeah, I was scared people wouldn't hear us and be like,
Yeah.
we need to be moved away from these people.
Yeah.
I know by the end of the dinner, there was like no one around us.
I think it was just COVID. Because they had one table next to us,
Yeah.
and then they moved it once
No,
those people
they
left.
heard what we were talking about, and
Yeah.
they just like had to get out of
They
there.
heard what we were talking about. That was actually quite funny though. That was a good night. Good Palmers, Universal. Big thank you to Universal and Carlton for sponsoring us for this podcast.
Bro, I wish there's like a in the bathroom or the toilet. There's like a competition to like win free Palmers for the rest of the year.
You're shitting me.
And I was like,
Well, that's not that long.
maybe I should.
How many Palmers could you eat between now and the end of the year?
A lot.
You reckon?
I reckon a lot.
Would the CEO of your building just sponsor us coffee?
Toby, that's it to you. Oh, we got a shout out. We got a shout out,
Oh,
boys.
yeah. So
Boys, we got I was at the cafe, and the CEO and champion and weapon of Creative Cubes went to get some water, and he goes, "Hey, dude, thanks for the shout out." And me being a really cool person, absolutely shit the bed. I was like, did you listen to it? And he goes, "Yeah, man." He goes, "Isn't that how it works? You shout out, I listen to it." I was like, yeah, thanks, man.
I'm still surprised. Like, why?
I'm very surprised as well. I'm just like, damn.
Well, it was thanks to, I do need to say thank you to Sade. I'm going to send you this again, Sade, so you can listen to this part.
This specific part.
She showed him. So thank you very much, Sade, you champion of a human being.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
But yeah, it still shocks me when people say they actually listen to the podcast.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, we just upload it. We don't even listen to it. No, we do. No,
Yeah, I start listening to it on the drives. When I've been driving, I'll be bored. I listen to our own podcast and I'll be like,
I listen, so I have I have an exclusive version where it's just my voice, and I do it while I'm looking at myself in the mirror.
it has a conversation with himself.
Yeah. And I go, man, this guy's got some really good points. but it's just me. But no, I'm enjoying it.
From what?
This podcast.
Oh, what do you mean, like life?
I'm enjoying life. It's getting a bit hectic at the moment because everyone's back at work.
Christmas is coming
Christmas is coming up.
Very
It's
fast.
it's a bit stressful.
So fast. Oh my god.
I might start my Christmas shopping soon.
We're gonna start your Christmas movies.
Start my Christmas movies on the 1st of
Christmas
December.
tunes.
Christmas tunes need to come out. It's all happening, man. It doesn't feel like Christmas, and I think that's hard, man. Once we start to see the...
Bro, what do you mean? As soon as November 1st hits, all the Christmas tunes are playing already. Like, all the Christmas
I
decorations
really
are
feel
up.
that at work with the amount of workload. Everyone's just buying like Christmas presents for everyone just early, and
We don't have any stock of anything. I don't know.
we literally have zero stock, and I'm just
buying shit.
oh my god.
It's a crazy time. You guys staying afloat or what?
Why, you gave me half eye?
No, just in life. Just now that everything's back open.
Strapped for cash, mate.
Yeah?
So much shit to buy.
Too much shit to spend money on.
All these bills
Too many
coming
Christmas
up
presents to buy.
Yeah, man.
Bloody house bills coming up. My second rates notice came.
Jesus.
Bro, I was like, I swear I just paid this 3 months ago. And that's how often they come. 3 months. 3 months.
Wow.
How much was it?
$250.
Jeez.
I still haven't paid it yet. I was gonna pay it today, so I'll do it today. I'll do it sometime today.
Gotta get it done. Gotta get it done. Makes me feel a bit anxious.
What?
Thinking about like having to you got to stay on top of it all.
Yeah.
Yeah, you think you are. Like, as soon as you get... This is more so now that I have a house. But even before that, every time you get on top of all your payments and bills and stuff like that, you're like, alright, sweet, I'm good. I can start saving now. Something else just comes up.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's always something else. It's ridiculous.
There are methods to it. I've got a friend who's a financial advisor, and when I was talking about getting my car, he sat me down for about 4 hours, and he basically showed me 3 or 4 different paths to go down. He goes, you can get the top of the range car and have tuna for the next 4 years or 3 years or whatever.
Tuna.
You can
Tuna.
live really luxuriously and have a shitbox of a car, or you can balance it in the middle. But that's going to take the most work because you need to budget every week. You need to know what you're paying, what you don't need to pay for, what you want and what you don't want. And I said to him, I go, but what about saving? He goes, if you want to save, that needs to be in there. He goes, you need to put money away instead of that dinner or instead of that game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He goes, that's the hard part. So it is a bit anxiety inducing because you're like, when you're doing it, it's different, but when you think about it, it's so overwhelming.
It really is.
Yeah.
But then it kind of pushes me to, start saving as well.
Yeah.
Like, I was at my cousin's house last week, and I saw they had this nice color-coded spreadsheet of just, how much he earns a week, and then how much he puts into whatever, like groceries, petrol, spending, food, and then how much savings he puts as well. And it kind of put everything into perspective. I'm just like, I should really put a lot more thought into just whatever I earn.
Well, yeah, it's all about doing your thing, though. It's all about... One of the most important things that friend mentioned to me was list the things that you want. Because you can make money, but if you don't list the things that you want, there's no point.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you want that house, you need to list that house. If you want it in 5 years, you're going to list that. If you want to do, like we were talking about a couple of weeks ago, karate, because I want to do it, you go, you need to put that down, and then once all that stuff's there, then you can branch it out to what you want and to all that kind of stuff, and that really helps. But are you good with that color coding kind of stuff?
No.
I've been trying diaries for years and years and years. I'd buy a diary.
Yeah.
First couple of weeks, writing it, everything's down, and then I just forget about it.
As in like your...
Like a calendar kind of thing, right? I've learned recently that I'm really... Look, I'm trying to get off my phone a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I used it a bit too much. I've deleted the old talks, the TikToks. I don't have TikTok anymore.
I'll just send you some.
You send me them. People send me them, and they're bloody hilarious. That was the issue. That was so funny that I'd just sit there and flick. And I also noticed it was a good... This is going to be weird. It was a good time-travelling app.
Good segue.
No, we're not segueing yet, though. We're not segueing yet. If I had nothing to do, and let's say you were coming to pick me up in 20
a bit
minutes.
quick, yeah.
I'd jump on TikTok, and before I know it, the message would come down.
And I'm here.
Insane. Insane. But you get sucked into it, and then before you know it, I go to bed at 10:30, but I'm up still at 11:30 just flicking through TikTok.
Yeah, that's what you gotta get out of. You gotta get out of getting onto your phone when you go to bed. You're like, I'm gonna be in bed by 10, but then you're not asleep till 12 or 1.
Yeah.
It's like, good thing. Because like I gotta wake up early tomorrow. I'm gonna be in bed by 10:30. I'm gonna be like rested, good to go for tomorrow. But if you're on your phone until 12 or 1 o'clock, it defeats the purpose.
100%. I've started putting my phone on the other side of the room, so I'll put my alarm on. I'm gonna invest in a old school. This is another segue to the podcast. An old school alarm clock, like an 80s looking alarm clock. So then I just use it for alarms, and then my phone's on the other side of the room, so I don't have that habit of sitting on my phone. And then I just read, the alarm's on, see you later.
Yeah, I need to start doing that as well. Especially lately, I've been waking up on time. I've been like, I have my alarm set, and then I just play, and I just be like, half asleep, turning it off. I don't remember turning it off.
Yeah.
Like,
dangerous,
I'm that person, yeah.
Or you do the other trick, which is you put the phone on the other side of the room with the alarm on.
So you have to go.
You got to get up.
That's what my brother does.
Your brother's a genius. How old's your brother?
16.
What's his name again?
Jason,
if you're watching this podcast, you're a genius. And we love you.
Yeah, I'll do that. Get up, turn it off, and then go back to bed. Go back to bed, mate.
just sleep on the floor.
Have you seen the mat alarm clock? Where it's like a mat that you put on the floor and it won't turn off unless you stand up on it?
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, I used to have the one where you shake it. You have to shake the phone in order for it to turn off.
Oh, yeah.
And then you just like, you be in bed and you're like...
There's so many apps like that, and there's ones that you could do maths equations before the alarm turns off.
Yeah, but then I'd still be like, I'd just get pissed off, like, fuck, turn it off, and then go back to bed.
Yeah.
So yeah, at least someone just slap me in the head and just wake me up.
You
just gotta get up. You just have to get up.
You just it's. I guess it's all about habits. It's weird, man.
It's hard.
It's difficult.
It's hard.
It's so it's just weird to talk about as well. Like, it's like, you wish you could stay in bed all day, but you know you can't, so you're somewhere in between. Have you seen the robot one? The robot alarm?
Where it's like robot stands over your bed and slaps you in the head?
I'll do that for you for free.
It picks you up and it shakes you like that, violently. No, it's like a little robot with wheels, and it's an alarm.
Does it run away?
It runs away. And it runs away from you, and it's got the alarm on, so you got to go catch this little robot to turn the alarm off.
It's like Rocky to catch the chicken, right?
Yeah, you got to catch the chicken.
That's cool.
It's pretty cool. I wouldn't do it.
Expensive though.
I'd send it into fucking space.
Yeah.
One day I'd be like, I didn't get to sleep properly, and this little prick's rolling around.
The one day, like, you forget to turn it off when you actually sleep in.
Yeah.
And then it goes off and you just yeet it off.
Yeah, 100%, man.
The place of the earth.
Did you say the 80s?
No.
Speaking of the 80s.
I thought we were doing that later.
Oh, we can do that later.
First?
Which one's first? Travel?
So, hey man, good segue.
Good segue. Hey,
from earlier, about 2 minutes ago.
Did you say something about planes? Anyway, segue.
Yeah, yeet it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna yeet myself somewhere else. Today's topic, we'll be speaking about travel. Not only just traveling to different countries, but also
traveling to different eras.
Sure.
We're doing a time travel / world travel podcast, which is exciting.
What? Why do we start talking about that again?
About travel or about time travel?
I guess both.
Time travel was because we started listening to the 80s music. Because you put on Kokomo by the Beach Boys. And then you said, what era is this movie from? The movie being Cocktail, for those who don't know, which has Tom Cruise.
TC.
And I said the 80s. And then I said, look how cool it is. Everyone's wearing neon. And they're all wearing their shirts open. And the girls wearing those
and everyone had great hair.
Oh, don't get me started on the hair, man. Everyone had those fucking feathered mullets. Like the feathered...
Yeah. What is it? Is it a perm?
Nah, perm's super curly. A perm is what Whitney Houston had in I Want to Dance with Something. You know, the super curly...
Yeah, but you can do loose curls.
That's what Ed Lay has.
No, Edla has the Edna Mode.
Edna Mode.
We went from the perm to the Edna Mode.
Yeah, he used to have a perm, didn't? No capes.
But you can get like curls. You can get wavy perm.
Yeah, but but the one that all the men had, where like the one George Michael had, where it sticks out like that, it's called like feathering or something like that.
I'm a peacock. You gotta let me fly.
Gotta spread my wings. That's how we started. We were talking about that kind of stuff, and then we were like, "Oh, what about travel?" Speaking of travel, I'm going to Queensland at the end of the year. That's my travel.
To Endota.
To Endota Spa. My mum and I have a ritual every year when we go to Queensland, because my grandparents live in Queensland. Every time we go see my grandparents, we go to Endota Spa and we get a massage, and I reckon it'll be better here, but it's all about the occasion over there, because we're there, because we get the hot stone massage, but in Queensland it's amazing.
I've never had it before. Like,
it's sensational, except for when you're in Queensland. Because it's like you put the hot stones on, you're like, man, that was so relaxing. And then you walk outside and it's like 35 degrees and you're like, man, I'm so uncomfortable.
Because I've seen in so many movies where people just get burnt by them. And I'm just like...
No, they're not
I kind of...
scalding hot.
Yeah.
They're like...
really, really warm.
Yeah, they're like when you first step in the shower and it takes you like 2 seconds to get used to, but then it feels really good.
Like a sauna? Like when you step into a sauna, at first it kind of just hits you.
Yeah.
And you
Sauna's probably a bit too hot.
Too hot.
Compared to it. This is like really relaxing.
Yeah, the saunas are kind of hot, man.
I love a good sauna session.
Me too.
Joe Rogan it up in a sauna.
We'll have a sauna session.
We'll do a sauna podcast.
Hot tub.
Whoever passes out first is the loser. Saunas are elite. Saunas with a cold dip after.
Oh yes, like at the hot springs.
At the hot, we should do a
Dude,
podcast
the
at
cold
the hot
dip
springs.
is so good, man.
Have you been there?
Never been to the hot springs.
Oh, the Peninsula Hot Springs.
I've been to that a couple of times, but I've never been to the hot springs.
The
cold dip is just...
It's like, literally, it's not even a pool, the cold dip. It's like
It's almost like a well.
It's like a one-person well with handles that you go into, because you're meant to go into it for a couple of seconds and then come straight out. I'm telling you, man. Oh, it makes you feel like a different person.
Yeah.
I feel like a new man.
I can vouch. It's so
100%.
good.
It almost put hair on my head. That's how good it was. Nah, I had hair back then when I went last.
It made you fall out.
It made it fall out. Don't go there, guys. I went under the water and I came back up and I was all smooth. It was
the hot and cold difference.
It cleansed them too hard.
Too hard. It cleansed all my hair follicles out.
It's just, oh my god, stress free.
But you know, I dig that kind of stuff, man. Massages.
Yeah.
I love it all. Actually, I might go for a massage tomorrow.
I think the best massage I had was in Japan.
I never went for one in
I went to one of those huge spa world things. They had 20 levels of spas.
Serious?
Yeah. And I had a massage there, and honestly, after the massage, I just felt like I was just sitting on clouds. Like I was just
That's
relaxed.
elite, man. I feel like massages are so underrated and people need to get them at least once a term, I'd say.
So what, once every 4 months?
Once every 4 months.
So it's only 3 months.
Yeah, sorry. 4 times a year.
Deep tissue massage?
Deep tissue, whatever, relaxation. Because I know some people, like I know my auntie's come with us once and she doesn't like a lot of pressure in a massage. Whereas me, like my mum's like, bro, top rope, drop an elbow into my back kind of thing. And I'm like a step lower than that because I'm like, I want to feel relaxed. But obviously I'm a human meatball. I'm a little mini bar fridge, so I need a bit more strength in it.
Yeah.
That's my other issue with Endota Spa. Who's our sponsor today, but I'm kidding. It's the, you go, oh, can I get really, really firm? And all the girls there, because their focus is women. And I get it. So they don't really have the strength or the power to
bring
kind
out
of
that one strong man.
Yeah. It's like, oh, can you call Helga in here? Like, can you I want to feel her.
Case.
I want to feel her massaging my chest when she's pushing into my back. You know what I mean? Like that's how hard I want it.
You see her fist come out the
front.
front.
It's like I want like a Mortal Kombat fatality kind of massage.
You'll be sitting on the benches where there's no hole in the middle, so that your fist can come straight through you.
It's a pregnancy table, but it's just for that. But yeah, no, I'm big on my massages. But yeah, back to travel. Apologies for that.
How often have you been to Queensland, or how often do you go?
We go once a year during Christmas, just after Christmas, Boxing Day.
To Brisbane?
No, Gold Coast.
Oh, Gold Coast.
My grandparents live in Burleigh Heads.
Retired.
Yeah, living it up. Carmen and Robert, peace up. They won't listen to this. I don't know how to use Spotify or a phone for that matter. I know they do know how to use the phone because my grandmother FaceTimes me way too often.
Oh man, do we have some stories from Gold Coast?
Oh my god.
From our trip.
From your trip?
Yeah. This is the one time I've been, or the only time I've been.
I've been 3 times if you count.
Oh wait, no, I've been twice. I went once during a year 9 camp for a week.
Doing what?
Expensive Year 9 camp, yeah.
Yeah.
Just going to all the theme parks.
That was your year 9 camp?
Yeah.
That's pretty sick.
Sorry, mine was on the Murray River.
I think it only cost me like $250 for like the lodge and everything.
That's cheap.
Yeah.
Damn, did you have tips in your hair then?
No. I wish.
Getting to the travel aspect, how do we want to run this? Let's go with where to.
Where do you want to go? What's been your favourite place?
Yeah.
Right, it's easy. It's easy enough.
Should we address?
Wait, should we talk about where we've been to as well?
Yeah, of course.
So let's start with where we've been to.
Yeah.
What was our favourite and where do you want to go to next?
Cool. Is there something big you want to address, Will?
No.
No? Nothing about matching t-shirts or anything?
Oh, that. He begged me to match the t-shirt. This is why I took my hoodie off as well, because he was like...
Will was freezing, and I came in here and I was like, you better take your jumper off because we're matching Gojo's. Staunched him.
So I'm just holding my cup of tea and got a little...
Which
blanket.
now I'm upset about it because I realise Will looks better in it. But anyway,
They can't hear shaking. He shook his head for everyone.
Will
listening
shook his
on
head, yeah.
Spotify,
We'll put that in the closed captions.
Shakes head in
Shakes
Vietnamese.
They can't hear.
Vietnamese. Oh, disgusting shit.
Disgusting shit.
Oh. Will, where you been to, brother? Where do you come from? Where do you go? Where do you come from? Vietnamese Will. I feel that.
I've actually been all around... Oh, not all around, but I've been to quite a few cities in Australia. Like, I was born in Canberra, moved down to Melbourne, have lived in Sydney for a year, and I do visit, like, Adelaide and Brisbane for family.
City of Churches, Adelaide.
20-minute city.
20-minute city.
But it's like Canberra. 10 minutes and you're straight through the entire CBD.
Bro, all you do is go say hi to Julia Gillard and then piss off, isn't it?
Yeah.
Pretty much. Where else have I been? I've been to Hong Kong. So I was...
Oh, how was that?
When I went, it was midwinter, so it was just freezing. It was raining the entire time. And I was only there for like less than a week because it was tied into my Vietnam trip.
Yeah.
And I went with family. And so they kind of planned everything and it was pretty disorganized.
Okay,
so I felt like it would have been fun if we got to do a lot more or if the weather was better or if I got to go with friends.
Yeah.
But like I definitely want to like go again to get the entire experience.
I've heard a lot about smog and stuff like that. Is it as bad as people say it is, or am I thinking of it?
I honestly can't tell just because it was midwinter, so it was always foggy.
Okay, yeah. So
Right.
you can't tell what's smog and what's not.
Yeah.
Smog or fog.
But, I mean, the airport there was pretty crazy. Like, when we were landing, the airport was kind of like, it was hidden within the mountain.
Really?
Yeah, so it was pretty wild where it's like, everywhere's just surrounded by mountain. And we were just, landing and I was like, dude, where the fuck am I?
Yeah. Coming out in a Doctor Strange movie or something, I was about to get some training.
And you know that, all the barbecue porks and stuff is really good when you see the butchers just squatting outside with an apron and a ciggy in his mouth.
Yeah, just real H&S.
Yeah.
Yeah, good shit.
Dirtier the food place, better the food.
I've also visited Macau. So...
Oh, is that the place in
Chang-Chi?
Chang-Chi?
Yeah, the huge casino place.
It's just casinos.
It's literally just like...
Asian
every
Las Vegas.
casino was like, 5 billion times looking better than Crown.
Yeah.
And they're all like literally next door to each other. And they'll have like their different themes and shit. So it's like a Asian Las Vegas, I guess.
Wow.
But it's really extravagant.
There's one big
when I went, I
Crazy
couldn't
rich Asians.
experience it fully.
Yeah.
Just because the legal age there was 21. And I was 20, I think.
Oh,
so I couldn't so I can go just, to the lobbies and all that stuff, but I couldn't, but on the ferry there, because you have to go via a ferry from Hong Kong to Macau.
Yeah.
And you got to get your passports ready and all that junk. I honestly didn't know that I would get seasick. Or like I would ever get seasick.
Yeah.
But then I went on the ferry and it was the worst experience. Like the waves were smashing up against the windows. The entire thing was like rocky. I'd say 8 out of 10 people were vomiting. And it was like a 2-hour ride. So that for 2 hours was crazy.
That must have been a bad day for the sea, bro.
I reckon. Maybe because it was midwinter too.
Bro, imagine being that one dude that wants to go for a swim in there. Like 600 people.
And on the way back as well, I was just dreading the way back.
That's bad.
Yeah. The way back wasn't as bad. It was like it had its moments, but it wasn't constantly the entire 2 hours.
Damn, dude.
But yeah, I mean, I would visit Macau again. I would just be dreading the ferry again.
Yeah.
Oh, there's not much to do. I don't think there's much to do. I don't remember what happened when I went there.
Did you go to Macau as well?
Yeah, I've been to Hong Kong and Macau.
Hong Kong
I
isn't
spent there a bit more. I spent a bit longer there though. It's a couple of weeks, I think.
I'm more interested if you've been home.
No, I haven't actually.
You haven't been to Laos?
No. Friends go all the time, and my family actually had a huge trip maybe a couple of years ago now, 3 or 4 years ago, where like a lot of my extended family went as well. Because one of my other family members, they own a hotel there. So they own a full
What I'm
hotel.
hearing is your family hates you. But anyway, go on.
I think I was at uni. Every time I go, I'm always at uni or doing something important. Which I just feel like I can't leave for. My parents went to Europe. They went to Europe a year and a half ago, 2 years ago.
Damn.
I couldn't go because I was at uni. They were gone for 3 weeks and they explored all of Europe. They stayed. We have family in France and Belgium.
Ooh.
So they stayed with them, and they could obviously in Europe you just go wherever. So they ended up exploring most of it over 3 weeks. And I was just having work for 3
We
weeks.
should have gotten his parents on this podcast.
I reckon.
Yeah, I didn't really go anywhere. I just host parties when everyone leaves.
G has been to Derrimut.
I've been to.
I've been
quite a few
to
of them.
I've been to about 4 or 5 Dermot gyms.
Yeah, travel. Now, there's one big one I'm waiting for you to mention.
Japan.
Yeah, talk to us about Japan.
First time I went was for schoolies with my cousins.
You went to Japan for school?
Yeah, so everyone went to Rai and Gold Coast and stuff.
Sorry.
The cousins and I.
Bro, is
there
this
were
kid
6 of
serious?
us. Yeah, there were 6 of us, and we all just went to Japan. Super fun. I think that was my most fun trip that I've ever had.
Yep.
Just because it was a place that I've always wanted to go, but I didn't know what to expect as well.
Yeah. Well,
Everything
you and
was
I-
new to me. Everything was super foreign.
Yeah, of course.
And I think that was like the first country that I've visited in like 12 years, maybe.
Jeepers. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so it was super exciting, and with fueled by the relief of finishing high school, we just went wild. Like we didn't have a fully planned itinerary,
Yeah.
so we planned the day the night before.
Okay.
So it was kind of like spontaneous.
But you had a list of things that you knew you wanted to do on the trip.
So just we weren't sure when to do it.
Of course.
And sometimes stuff gets cancelled or like they're not running. Like we wanted to watch a sumo wrestling match, but it was out of season.
Yeah.
And like we were already at the arena, and we're like, wait a second, there's no one here.
Yeah.
But it's
Let's go this
Yeah.
time this day.
And Japan, for those of you who are planning to go and have never been, they're not super English friendly. So like half the times you're gonna have to play charades and Pictionary with them.
I found the opposite. When
Really?
I went. Yeah, when I went to Japan, I found it was really, really English friendly. Like me and my friend, like maybe you might have a couple of phrases and stuff that, we had
Yeah.
no clue.
But were you in like the major cities? Like
Yes,
just in-
we went Tokyo, Kyoto, Nagoya,
Yeah.
Hiroshima.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Japan's like pretty good at English if you're in, the touristy spots.
I see.
But because we
I
also
see.
had like Airbnbs in the suburbs, and we went to visit like all these other places.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, like the locals just don't know too much, whereas people in the touristy areas, it's kind of a given that
Yeah.
they'll know at least a bit of English.
Yeah.
We also got lost in the mountains once.
How was
for
that?
like 3-4 hours. I was freaking out, but my cousins were just like messing around the entire time,
Yeah.
which kind of eased my
of course.
my anxiety. So what happened was, do you know the Thousand Gates in Kyoto?
Yeah, is that the one that
Up the
goes
huge
into the
mountain?
water?
No,
No.
that's the Hiroshima one. The one that
That's
goes
not
into the water.
Is it?
Yeah.
There's a gate at Hiroshima that's in the water.
That one single gate in the lake.
Oh, yeah, sorry,
The Thousand
but
Gates
you're
that
thinking
has,
of one that it goes up the mountain.
Yeah,
Correct.
so
Yes,
it goes
yes,
up the
yes,
mountain,
yes.
right? We got to the top, but then on the way down, we got to about maybe a third way down, where there was a crossroad where it said back down to Kyoto Station,
Yeah,
or on the right path, it just had an X,
yeah.
and so we kind of just. I was like, all right, let's go home. My cousins were like, no, let's take this way. So we ended up taking that way, and maybe 10 minutes in, I was already freaking out.
Yeah.
And then, when we kept going, we started hearing some like chanting. But I thought it was just me. I thought it was just me being paranoid, right? But my cousins heard it too, and I'm like, dude, can we? It's not too late to turn back, please. Just,
It's
like,
not
let us
too
turn
late.
back.
It will be seen though.
Yeah. So then they were like, no, let's keep going. I'm like, well, okay, I don't want to go back by myself, you know. So I kept following, and then we eventually just came across like this tiny abandoned hut that was just next to the path, and I'm just like, nah, I'm just gonna keep going. But yeah, we were lost in the mountains for like maybe 2-3 hours.
Damn.
Midwinter, so it got dark at around 4:30. Or it started to get dark at around 4:30. Super cold, no reception, and we just kept going.
That's what dreams are made of.
Nightmares are made of.
So yeah, we kept going, and then we eventually ran into like an ancient palace, like an old palace that's just open to tourism.
Are you going to tell me you found like a crystal skull or like some kind of Indiana Jones?
Yeah, like a giant ball start chasing you.
Nah, we just found we just found that old palace, explored a little, and actually, like when I think about it and when I get to tell the story, I actually had a lot of fun. But during the time, I was
100%.
sweating bullets in midwinter the entire
bro.
time. But yeah, Japan was really fun. Like,
Japan's
got to explore
amazing, man.
Yeah.
My trip to Japan was elite as well. Speaking of mountains, I'm going to segue to my story.
Yeah.
Because it's one of my favourites. I'll go back into the Japan thing, but we were in Japan and we had a trip to Mount Fuji, to climb Mount Fuji.
Oh, nice.
Right? So we had booked to climb
Oh,
Mount
that's good.
Fuji, and
I'll
it
do
was
that too.
really exciting, right? So the bus rocks up, and me and my friend, we've gone downstairs because we stayed at... So to premise all this, I did the organising because my friend had been overseas before.
Yeah.
I stuffed up big time because I had never been before. So I went to a travel agent,
Yep.
which basically doubled the cost of our trip. So that was very
Yep.
silly of me. But you live and you learn. I learned from that. But so we booked this trip, and she also goes, "Which hotel do you want to stay at?" Me being a naive young kid, I was
Yeah.
like, "That one with the Godzilla head." So we stayed.
Well, that's in Tokyo, isn't it?
We
I've
stayed
seen
at
it
Hotel
before.
Grocery,
Yeah.
right? And there was a servo at the bottom, so we went down to the servo and we grabbed these big bottles of water for the trip because we're going to need a lot of water for the trip because we're going up Mount Fuji. And, you know, I brought my skins and my shorts and a jumper, and we got these backpacks all full of food
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Get on the bus, and I still remember the exact image to this day. There's a dude wearing jeans and sandals.
Right.
And I looked at him and I go, "You're a fool. You're going to cop it. I swear, how are you going to climb Mount Fuji in that?" Anyway, he sat down, and we're still laughing at this dude wearing sandals, right? We pull up to one of the checkpoints in Mount Fuji. It looks beautiful. We are so excited.
What
And the
season
guy-
did you go in, by the way?
It was just after cherry blossom, so whatever that is.
Ah, okay.
You can only climb Mount Fuji during certain seasons.
Springish summer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was a typhoon there as well, so that probably made it a bit difficult. And the guy goes, "Okay, guys, we're at the checkpoint. There's what do they call red bean,
Senzu bean.
Sensitive.
the buns with red bean paste in them?
Yeah. The fish ones.
Yeah, the fish shaped ones.
Taiyaki.
Yeah.
No, not those ones. It was like and you get some with chocolate in them, and they were like really sweet, but they were
Sounds
buns.
like buns.
Yeah,
Just steamed buns.
sweet buns. Yeah, there was something like that. But anyway.
Not mochi, right?
No.
Yeah.
And then he goes, "All right, guys, you can grab some souvenirs and have a look around." Then he goes, "We'll have about an hour." And I'm like, "Cool." And then we'll head. And he goes,
Yeah.
"And we'll head down." And I'm like, "Did he say down?" To my friend, and my friend's like, "I think he said down." No, maybe he meant maybe we're going to start from some other point. Spent about an hour and a half at this checkpoint. Get on the bus. We go home. So there was no climbing involved, so I've got ready
Oh my god.
to climb Mount Fuji. Me and my friend are wearing skins and shorts, looking like the biggest dickheads ever.
I felt like he might have dropped you off at like a gondola, so you don't actually climb it, but
Something like that.
but at least that, you know.
Not even.
I didn't think they were just gonna drive you back home.
We drove up to a checkpoint, did a U-ing and went back.
That's it. Oh my goodness.
I didn't
How
even-
much did that cost you, but
Oh, don't get me
that
started
trip?
on the prices of stuff, man.
like that one trip to the checkpoint and back?
Oh,
How
it was something obscene, like $100 or something.
Well, that's like 2-3 hour drive from Tokyo.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tokyo to Mount Fuji. 3
I must
hours.
admit, there was a part where... 2 parts that made that completely worth the money and I'd pay the money again.
Should just.
You drive over this road which is called a music road.
Yeah.
And all the bumps in the road are at different levels, so they create different vibrations in the bus.
What?
And it sounds like a song. It's one of the most amazing things I've ever seen, right? That, and then our tour guide said, oh, when kids come up here for excursions, they sing a song. And it goes like this. And he's sitting up the front singing this song, and I was in stitches. I was like, that's worth $100, 100%, take my money. But our Japan trip was full of stupid stuff like that. We went for a month. It was my first trip alone with my best mate. Shout out to Ryan.
Not Ryan Dawes.
Not Ryan Dawes, other Ryan.
I was going to say, did you go Ryan?
No. And
Hate that guy.
I felt bad because I did kind of let him down a little bit in the sense where he doesn't hold it against me, but we spent a lot of money when we didn't have to.
Yeah.
But there was this one trip where it was a tour. No, there were two tours. One was around Shinjuku.
Ooh, nice.
And we didn't know what Shinjuku was because we were new to Japan.
Yeah.
So we get there the first night. Like the first night we arrived, and I go, dude, let's just go for a walk. Like,
That's
look at
just
this
like
place.
10 minutes from Shibuya, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Now, for those who don't know where Hotel Grocery is, it's in Shinjuku. Anyway, so I go, let's just go for a walk. Right, so we go for this long ass walk. We go find a ramen bar. We get some amazing ramen, and we're just walking around looking at. It honestly felt like we were in a movie, like Blade Runner, because it was kind of raining and all the lights were everywhere. We were in this new city, new country.
That's what I felt like in Osaka when it was raining. It had all these lights everywhere,
and it feels like you're in Blade Runner, right? So we walked around everywhere. Cool, let's go. We got an early morning tomorrow, so we go up to the hotel. We go to sleep. Get up the next morning. It was the next night, sorry. So we get up the next morning, do whatever we do. Then we go to the next night, and she goes, cool, welcome to the tour, yada, yada, yada. I reckon, step for step, she took us around the exact same place that we walked the day before. I go, cool. First night, waste of cash. Beautiful. The next night, we had a tour of a temple and a really famous road, which I can't remember. Can't remember the name of the road, but it's super famous.
Rainbow Road.
No, that's...
is that huge crossing in the
that's
middle of
Mario
Shibuya?
Kart. No, that's Shibuya Crossing.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, it's like a
That's
road with all these like industrial things, right? And the night before, I'm looking at the itinerary, and my friend's looking at the itinerary, Ryan, and he goes, dude, it says, what does it say? It says, it says personal tour.
Uh-huh.
And I go,
What does that mean?
yeah. He goes, what does that mean? He goes, it better not just be the two of us. And I go, no, it must be because it's one person showing us it's a personal tour.
That makes sense.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
And he goes, I'm going, it must be, right? And he goes, it better be. He goes, I'll kill you if it's not. And I go, all right. I don't think it is. We walked out to the lobby the next morning, and she's got these two signs that says Mr. Ryan McLean and Mr. Tristan Hasta. As we're walking up, I'm smiling. Ryan's in my ear going, you're doing all the talking today, you fucking idiot. Like, now we're going to do a private tour. And I must admit, it turned out to be really sick, right? So she took us out to this area where it was very industrial, and a lot of the chefs went there to get their equipment and all their foods and stuff. So there was a lot of markets and stuff.
Yeah.
It was cool because it was one-on-one.
Yeah.
So she'd ask us a lot of questions, and then she'd we could
I
ask
think
her.
it's cool having a personal tour guide. That's cool.
Amazing. It turned out to be really awesome, right? I've got another story for another day about that trip, about that tour. But she took us down there, and we found this really vintage Coke vending machine.
Mm.
It was for sale, but it was also functioning. And
Yeah.
you put the money in. I think it was like 100 yen. You put the money in, and glass bottles of Coke would come out.
Wow.
So they were really really good Coke. And then she took us to a temple where... Actually, fuck it, I'll just tell the story. There were a lot of people at this temple, right?
Yeah.
And she's talking to us about the religion in Japan, and she goes, I don't know what the religion's called.
Shinto.
Shinto?
Yeah.
So, and that's all where everything is religious to them. Everything is sacred.
Yeah.
Trees,
Yeah.
water,
That's
nature.
why they don't expand too much,
Yeah.
and they fit everything in such a compact space.
And it was amazing. It was such a crazy lesson. And she's saying, everything. She goes, and it was, again, this was like something out of a movie scene. I swear my life's a sitcom. She goes, even the pigeon, and then there's a lot of pigeons everywhere. I don't know if you notice that in Japan. There's a lot of pigeons, and they don't get scared of people. Yeah. She goes, we don't, scare pigeons, and they're nice, right? And as she says that, she goes, we even look at pigeons as religious. And the pigeons were standing next to this group of people, and out of this group of people comes this little kid, and he steps, I swear to you, his foot goes on the back of the pigeon, and the pigeon goes like that. His head goes down and everything. He gutter stomps. Full American history X this pigeon. Right?
It's like a Japanese kid. Like a Japanese kid.
No. And this is the worst part. And me and my friend are like tears, right? And she turns to us, she goes, "Ooh, they must be Chinese." And we fucking lost it. We were like, "You cannot say that. That is insane." So this kid's come out, gutter stomped a pigeon, and we're just, everything's happening. And I felt like that, you know that Mr. Krabs meme? Where everything's I was like, what the hell is going on? Oh, it was so funny.
Oh my god.
Then the rest of the trips were just mishaps and like me learning not to spend that much money on a trip ever again. And I feel like I felt bad for my friend when we went because he's like a recreational drinker. I don't drink, but he likes to drink. Oh, let's go have a couple of drinks, this and that. I don't do it, so I feel bad because I'm like, not my thing.
Yeah.
But other than that, it was amazing. We saw some amazing things. The other thing I don't do is roller coasters. So we went to Disneyland and DreamWorks and Universal. Sorry,
Universal was so fun.
Universal was great.
Did you go to Universal?
Yeah, I went to Universal.
We buffed Butterbeer, man.
Butterbeer was good, man. Butterbeer
That Harry Potter world was
Harry Potter
so
world
nice.
was fantastic.
That broomstick one was hectic. Yo, look,
I didn't go on the broomstick ride.
Is that the one where you go into the castle?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Crazy. It was actually kind of crazy, bro. Like, people went up and down, and like, I felt like
Yeah.
I was actually on a broomstick.
Yeah,
and like that scene where the dragons were flying outside the castle
Yeah.
in a goblet of fire, and he breathes the fire on you, and the heat comes.
Yeah.
Oh, bro, it was wild.
Kind of crazy.
Craziest thing I've ever done was Shrek 4D at DreamWorks and thing.
You know, sneeze on you.
When Donkey
And he
sneezes
sneezes
and it
and the
sprays
water,
water.
yeah.
That was my craziest ride, man.
You're like, whoa, this is next level.
No, we
4D.
did. What did we do? We did. What's that? Nightmare Before Christmas was one of the rides in Disneyland, I believe.
Cool.
Or I don't know which one it was. I think it was Disneyland, but it was all in Japanese. So we're sitting in this like little cart and it moves real slow, and things are happening and they're speaking in Japanese and we're just like, what the fuck are they saying?
Where are the
meant to be
subtitles?
scared. Yeah, what the fuck?
When you go to Japan for the first time, there's the subtitles.
When does the Evangelion intro play, man?
What?
What's happening?
Was that action?
No.
Oh, I was gonna say.
Like, no, please, I've watched Full Metal Alchemist, please.
Use my glasses.
So that was my one. That trip to Japan. I've been to Thailand. That was a horrifying experience.
Why?
No, because somehow this was not my father's fault. He did not know. He thought he was taking me to watch a table tennis game.
Oh.
I was like 14, and I saw a ping pong show. This got dark real quick, man.
Oh, anyway, so I've also been to Japan.
Yeah, no, you know what? Oh, look, there were a couple of cool things in Thailand. The massages were grouse. Speaking of massage, those women were weapons. Like,
Just trained Muay Thai professional fighters.
dude,
Using the elbows and everything, bro.
there was this, and again, my life is like a sitcom. There was this one lady that was huge, big,
Yeah.
like looked like a fridge, huge. She looked like she could play AFL and actually staunch Barry Hall or something like that. And she was like, "Oh, massage," and I'm like, "Bro, yes." This is on the beach. I'm like, "Yeah, man." I don't know, like, she was pushing my back and I felt it through my chest. I was like, "This is elite." Nothing else happened.
And that was the end of that. I paid it at my home.
No, I actually did. Because I was on the beach. I was fucking 14 years old. But no, Thailand was good, but it was a bit... Yeah, things happened.
Sus.
Yeah, it was very sus.
Very
It's not a
sus.
trip someone should go on with their father.
Very promiscuous.
As a 14-year-old kid.
As a 14-year-old kid, I played
Not
a
even
lady...
as a 21-year-old.
Played a lady in Jenga, and it was at a...
What was the waiting room?
No, it was at a... Not a topless bar, but it was at like a... Like there were dancers on top of the bars.
Like go-go dancers.
Go-go dancers and stuff. And I played this one of the bartenders, and we put $10 on the line. And I was playing, and she beat me by pulling her top down,
Oh,
and I lost in Jenga.
Distracted.
I got distracted. I'm having Vietnam flashbacks.
You have more flashbacks?
But yeah, no, those are my trips, and I want to go to New Zealand.
I actually want to visit.
Yeah, it's fun. It's close by too.
Yeah,
I reckon a lot of people just do like the drive from like the North Island.
to the south.
It sounds fun. It's very postcard worthy.
It does, yeah. I want to go to where they film Lord of the Rings and stuff.
Yeah. Hobbiton?
Hobbiton.
I love to go to Hobbiton.
Hobbiton, but I also want to Tell me if this is weird, because I'm a bit paranoid about it. I want to dip into their culture. Like, I want to go headfirst into their culture.
I think their culture's sick.
Because I think it's one of the most amazing things ever. But does it come off as, like, dickish?
Like a cultural appropriation.
Yeah, that's what I don't want to... I don't want to do it. Like, I'd love to...
It's like being a weeb.
You just got to be it respectfully.
It's like going headfirst into Japanese culture and being like, show me everything. I want to love it. I want to respect it. But I don't want to walk around going, oh, arigato and konnichiwa.
Comes in with like a tribal tattoo across his head.
100%. Yeah, I'm Yakuza. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's pronounced, ramen. Like, you know what I mean? I don't want to do that kind of stuff. But I want to get into it because their culture looks so amazing, man.
Comes home and just does the entire, like, every single haka there is.
Oh, bro.
New Zealand is an example of how you treat your indigenous culture.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Versus Australia, which is a bit far way away from that.
Yeah. Nice one, Kevin Rudd. Tell us, Jay, where you been?
I think two special. Both have been mentioned so far. So I've been to Hong Kong as well. Hong Kong was, I think it was in like year 8. That was fun. It was a fun trip. I already go to like Disneyland and like some theme parks there.
Disneyland was very fun there.
The public transport was something that is when I noticed that Melbourne's one's actually dog water.
Yeah.
That's when you that's when you
In Hong
realize.
Kong?
Yeah, Hong Kong one's really good.
I didn't get to experience any.
It's really good. And then when you go to
transport.
Japan, then you realize then you realize Melbourne's even worse than dog water. It's like you might as well freaking walk everywhere.
Dude,
Yeah.
how good are the bullet trains in Japan though?
Oh, dude.
I actually love the bullet trains.
What are they called?
Whenever we took the bullet Shinkansen,
Shinkansen.
every time we take one, you think of it as a big event, but they just get onto it. And just go like it's normal.
They literally go to work like from 2 hours away, just every
that's
morning.
So sick, man. Like
Yeah.
imagine being taking a bullet train from here to Sydney.
That's crazy, man.
In like 2 hours.
Yeah.
I want us to build that thing.
The train they want to do?
Yeah, what do they want to build?
They're not gonna do it.
The monorail.
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 Mono.
Yeah.
Mono meaning one. Rail meaning rail.
Oh, we love Simpsons here.
Yeah, Hong Kong. Hong Kong was fun. It's a bit young, but the food was good. The street food was really good.
I'm pretty sure they have a Michelin star yapcha in the airport.
Serious?
I can't remember anything from the airport,
Yeah.
but it was nice. Walking around Hong Kong was real nice. Everything was pretty accessible. Macau, I don't remember much of because I just remember driving in a taxi and driving around because I don't think we went into anything because we went as a family, so it wasn't much we could do. Japan, I've been to. That was fun. Definitely a culture shock going there.
Yeah. Yeah.
You think you can prepare as much as you can, which we did. We did a lot of preparation. I did most of the planning, or I'd say most of it. Most of the planning for that, the itinerary, all that stuff. I didn't go to a travel agency.
Yeah, that was
I knew that was abroad.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good for convenience sake. If you don't want to do that planning, you don't want to put in that.
Yeah. I just had no idea how to plan.
I'm a teacher.
No, now I know. Now I know. I didn't know back then.
When was this?
I was 21, 22. 22. I'm 26 now.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, it's definitely a raw.
Oh, 100%
I was supposed to see Gia in Japan for a night because we were in Japan at the same time.
Yeah.
Because it was my second time going, but I was taking my family around. But the one night they were free, I had a dinner reservation. And I think to this day it was the best dinner I've ever had. It was for fine dining in this like 5-star hotel rated by Forbes and all this junk. But the dinner was so good.
To be fair, I also had a really good dinner that night too.
I just wish I went to eat with you
It
guys.
was like all you could eat. That was really good. But the biggest culture shock for me was when we got there. Because you have to organise like either you're gonna get a SIM card or a
Should we interrupt at a guest appearance?
guest appearance for sure, mate.
Should we have a guest appearance? If he's available?
Come on
Come on now! Guest appearance! Here he is!
We got a fireplace?
We got a fireplace! Roy's here! Hey! Take a seat, we're talking about travelling.
Are we?
Yeah.
I haven't done any of that.
Haven't you?
No.
You didn't travel around Australia.
Okay, I've travelled around Australia, but I've never done any international. This is very cosy, by
Hey,
the
good
way.
is it? I
Can
put
the
it on last time.
Has the audience seen what we got going
They
on?
probably can see it on the window.
Oh, it's very nice.
Oh, yeah.
It's very cozy. We got blankies. We got tea.
It's a 10-hour 4K fireplace.
That's a great idea.
It is.
All right, where were we? What have I interrupted?
No, you haven't interrupted a thing. We were just talking about Japan, how much of a culture shock it was.
Oh, I was going to get to a story actually. So
Sorry, I interrupt Jay's story to get you on the pod.
Oh, all good.
It's okay, no worries, mate. I just cut you out. We'll just cut out this part and we'll just skip straight to this part right
You
now.
better give the fans what they want.
He just appears on the couch just randomly.
Our views just shot up.
Why is everyone skipping to 50 minutes?
Yeah, I put it in the time codes. Ryan appears.
We're actually exactly on 50 minutes. Did you see that?
Oh, I didn't actually. I'm just very good.
What was I saying? Oh yeah, so
Tell us your
basically
story.
when you go to Japan or anywhere, basically you obviously want internet and you don't want to take the SIM card you have because that'll be international roaming and that'll cost you an arm and a leg. So basically you're either going to organise a new SIM for when you get there or you carry around like the pocket Wi-Fi's so you can just connect to Wi-Fi when you're travelling around. Yeah. So I organised the pocket Wi-Fi's for the group just because it'd be easier because we had a big group.
Yeah.
So if we just had a couple of pocket Wi-Fi's, you just all connect to one or two. So I'm like, the easiest thing to do is just to pick it up at one of the conveniences at the airport so that we were good to go straight away. And then we touched down in Japan at Kansai airport, that's in Osaka. And I was like, cool. I remember when I booked it, there was like 4 or 5 different convenience stores in the airport center alone. And I was like, well, fuck, I don't know which one's which, so I'll just pick one. So I picked one. And then we touched down and we also were getting picked up by our first B&B host. So they're picking us up to take us there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so that was real nice.
Wow.
And then, since I was going to organise it, I was like, alright, I'll go grab it for everyone. And then I went to the first one I saw, ran to it, and they're like, oh no, this one is the one that's over down the other side. I'm like, okay, yeah, no worries. First of all, I was trying to speak to them and I couldn't speak to them at all. And that was when that's when the culture shock hit me. I was like, holy crap, I'm in another country. No one understands what the frick I'm saying. And I was like trying to use Google Translate and stuff like that. And I eventually did get them
Just play charades like
to
I did.
explain where it was. Like, it's
Two
a
words.
different one.
A movie.
And I'm like, okay, it's no worries. Because when I walked in, there was a kiosk to pick it up and then it wasn't working. So that was the wrong kiosk to pick it up from. And then I ended up finding out it was the wrong one. I had to go to a different one. I'm like, okay, no worries. I ran down to the other side of the airport. I found another one. And I'm like, oh cool, this must be it. Tried it there, didn't work. Wasn't that one. At this point, it'd been about 20 minutes already. And then the person that came to pick us up, the group, was almost here. And obviously they park in a short-term parking spot, like a 5-minute pickup zone. So then I was running low on time. So I was like, crap, I need to really find this other convenience store. And then they're like, no, it's across the other side. So that you have to run across the other side of the road onto like there's another shopping complex, yeah? So I ran across to that one and I was like, okay, surely it must be this one, right? And then they're like, nah, what's this one? There's one downstairs. And I'm like,
well, they must have just been messing with you.
Yeah, 100%.
bro,
They're calling each other up, going, hey, someone from Australia's going to come down.
There's some guy running around.
Fucking guy shitting fucking
Send them back to the start later.
The thing is, there was 5 different convenience stores, and the fact that I chose the one that was the last one I went to, is just like, what are the chances, right? Like, it could have been the second or third one, but it had to be like the 5th one I went to.
Jesus Christ.
So I ended up finding it, eventually getting it, but by that time, it's been like 40 minutes to maybe an hour, right? And then I went to where we were getting picked up, and then they'd copped a fine for waiting for so long for me. And then they were like, they were still parked there, so we ended up being okay. They drove us to the place, and then they were like, "Oh, don't worry about the fine, blah blah blah." But we paid them extra for the fine to pay it off, and it was all good. But yeah, that was a rough start to the trip.
Yeah, man.
First, the culture shock of being able to like realize that holy crap, you're in a different.
That's how you know you're in a different country.
Yeah, and then having to go through all that, but the rest of the trip was pretty smooth sailing. Definitely something, bro. Like you said earlier about walking around Osaka or any of the cities and just like soaking it all in.
Yeah.
Bro, that night I was like, this doesn't feel real. Like,
It's so surreal there. It's crazy.
Man. Ryan, mate, you need to go, mate.
Yeah.
Well, the plan was...
Podcast in Japan.
It was pre-COVID, the plan was, I think me and my fellows were originally planning on 2020 Japan trip. And then the whole, the world fell apart. And, like all the money I'd saved, I put into the house. So I do eventually want to go.
Of course.
Yeah.
But it's just a matter of probably after uni, or if maybe on one of the uni holidays, or if I get
Because I was also planning to go for a second time last year as well.
We were supposed to go.
I
was so keen for that trip.
End of last year.
Yeah.
We went again for a second time.
Is it quite pricey? Like, I know I started...
I was shocked. It wasn't. Like, it was very similar to Melbourne, where it's like... If you want it to be pricey, you can If you come to Melbourne and you go to Nobu and you go to like all these expensive places, it's going to be pricey.
Yeah.
But if you go to their equivalent of, you know, Universal in Carlton, it's not going to be pricey.
$17 Palmers? $17 Palmers?
It's not going to be pricey at all.
$17 ramen.
Hey, go to any convenience store you see, and
Dude, the convenience
you get a
store.
decent.
Oh, they're amazing.
You get a
Oh,
great,
so good.
God.
you get a great meal.
I remember the most money I spent in Japan was on a jumper for my brother. What's that brand? Billionaire Boys Club.
Oh, yep.
And I dropped $300 on a
BBC.
jumper for him. Yeah, BBC on a BBC for him.
I have another friend who he went to Japan. He did the same thing. He dropped tons of money on like the streetwear because the street.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if he got bait, but he got a few different brands. And the streetwear looks
it's elite.
whenever he's worn it, it's like fuck, that looks fire.
But in saying that, sorry to interrupt.
No.
You know my red 76ers jumper?
Yeah.
That was from Japan, from a flea market for $10.
Fuck.
My red 76ers.
Nice.
Yeah, there's a lot of good places.
That's like my favourite jumper of yours.
Yeah,
$10.
because it's either that or Rudolph's jumper. That's the only two I wear.
For anyone that hasn't been to Japan, Jeanu, would you think the next time that you're like going back, do you think it's better to get, or if you're going as a group, do you think it's better to get a pocket Wi-Fi or individual SIMs?
It depends how many people are going.
Yeah.
Because when I went, we had a big group. It was 9 people.
Jesus.
And that was way more people than I intended. I think, personally, the way that Japan's set out, there's not much room for a lot of people. Despite how much people live in like each city. All the restaurants are really small, condensed. All the houses are really small as well. So 9 people is definitely not ideal.
I was living the dream there.
Yeah.
Everything was my size. Like everything was real small.
Yeah. So you definitely want to go with a smaller group. 5 preferably. Maybe 7. 7 I was pushing it, but then it ended up being 9 because late additions. But if you have a bigger group, I think pocket Wi-Fi is good. But if you have a smaller group, each person getting a SIM card is
Really?
Especially
Because I would have thought the opposite.
Yeah.
Because if you're going as a big group, because
depends if you want to split up or not.
Yeah,
It depends how you
most
want
of
to
the
go
time
about it.
people want
'Cause
to
most
do
of the
their
time when
own
I
things.
organised it, we had things that we were going to do together anyway.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then we're going to be together regardless. So we had a few pocket Wi-Fi's. It wasn't just one. It was like 2 or 3.
Oh, okay.
So you split up
yeah.
2 groups, if anything.
And do you get the SIM over there? How does that work?
You can get a SIM
You
there
can.
as well. You can. There are places here in Melbourne where you can pick up SIMs and stuff for Japan here.
Oh,
Have
okay.
it organised, ready to go, and then go there, or
That
you
would have
pick it
to
up
be
there.
done,
But
wouldn't
in saying that, if you wanted to thrift it, there is fucking Wi-Fi everywhere.
Yeah, free Wi-Fi. pretty
There's
much,
free
like,
Wi-Fi everywhere. There's kids with free Wi-Fi.
They're
Attached to
they're carrying around pocket
Their little
Wi-Fi.
backpacks
Bro.
are like...
Everywhere's free Wi-Fi.
Hi,
You know that?
I'm the pocket Wi-Fi.
Yeah. You know that pigeon that kid stepped on in my story? Wi-Fi. Crazy, man. It's everywhere. But no, that would... Yeah, Japan's amazing. We did the SIM card thing. We got 30 gig per SIM card for like $30.
It's plenty.
Which, it's planning ahead. But I also had a
Because you're
SIM
only doing it
card.
for like maps. That's
Yeah.
about it.
I had a free
Yeah.
SIM from... I cheated because I had a free SIM from Vodafone when I used to work there.
Oh, yep.
And basically with Vodafone's roaming, which I must admit, I'm not the biggest fan of Vodafone, but their roaming's really good. You pay $5 for 24 hours from the second you pay $5, you get access to your phone plan as if you're in Australia. Unlimited calls around the country you're in, unlimited calls around back to Australia, normal, and your data. And then once that finishes,
Fuck, that's pretty good.
if you pay $5 again, same thing.
Oh, it's the $5. I had heard of that. The $5
$5
a day.
roaming. Yeah. So I had a free SIM card with unlimited money, unlimited calling and texting. So I just had to spend $5 every time I wanted to use it.
I think it's not bad if you're not there for long.
Well, I was there for a month, so it wasn't really
That's
smart.
yeah.
But I bunched everything up. So I'd call home
All together.
like once
I
a
think I called
week,
it like once near the end of a trip.
3 to 4 days.
I mean, you spend less than $130 on your SIM for the entire month,
Yeah.
right? Is that right? 28 like by 5.
yeah.
Or 369. Yeah, like under $150. It's like it's only like 130.
I can't remember how much. My pocket SIM.
But now
That's pretty economical.
it's pretty. Yeah, but mind you, you have to get a job at Vodafone to
That's
get a free
good
SIM
point.
card.
Yeah,
That's the loophole.
yeah, life hack.
Life hack.
Just
life
work
hack.
for Vodafone.
Yeah, get a job
You'll be
there.
miserable, but you get a free SIM
Yeah.
card.
Yeah.
Thanks Vodafone.
Tell me in the interview, I'm only here for that.
Yeah.
That's all I'm here for, guys.
I'm only here for that mental health problem.
So why do you think you'd be a good fit at our company? Well, I'm actually planning on going to Osaka in 2 months, so...
How wild would it be if we went together? That'd be crazy.
Oh
fun.
man, that would be hilarious.
Yeah.
That would be insane. I feel like we'd all do the same kind of stuff. Will and I would take off to One Piece World every day.
Did you get to go to the one in Tokyo Tower?
No, I didn't. I went to...
Dude, you would love it. You would love it.
I went to J-World. We went to J-World. I didn't go to the One Piece one.
J-World was crap.
Yeah,
There was like a...
J-World was very kid, like it was for kids.
Yeah,
you know?
there was like a... We got there right at the time
Don't
when
say.
there was a Kakashi and Sasuke dress up guys.
Yeah.
And they came out and we were like, yo! And they were like, did their little poses and stuff for like maybe 30 seconds and then they went, peace! And then they took off. And I was like, whoa!
We haven't got
What
enough
the fuck
content
was
for
that?
this.
What happened?
We haven't trained this long.
Yeah. Whoa, they used their, disappearing jutsu. And they just walked behind those doors.
Went out the back for a coffee.
They went out the back.
A boss coffee.
Look, Kakashi's smoking a cigarette. But yeah.
But did you do the Mario Kart?
No,
Mario Karting?
So when we went, there was such bad timing when we went. That was when Nintendo were doing suing Mario Kart.
Because that's been cancelled now, hasn't it?
No,
that specific one has stopped, but there's still other ones going around, I'm pretty sure.
They're not Mario Kart, but you can wear a Mario jumpsuit.
Okay. The Mario we haven't.
But honestly, that was one
Yeah.
of the best experiences I've ever done too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish I
I
did
don't
that.
Did any of you guys do that? Where you drive in like R33s and stuff up the mountain?
My mate Corey wanted to do that.
No.
You hire the really sort of like well-known Japanese cars, and you drive up. What mountain?
Dude, I want to try that.
Fuji.
It might be Mount Fuji.
Nah,
but you drive,
it's the one. It's the tofu one, bro.
what
Is
is
it
it?
mountain made out of tofu?
Yeah, the tofu one.
Bro.
I should know this. All my friends have
That-
done it.
this
Mount
would be
Akina.
one. There.
Oh, okay,
yeah,
yeah. And yeah,
What is it?
Akina?
yeah.
No, from Initial
From
D.
Initial D.
Yeah.
Yes, that's it. And you
Yeah.
get you people are hopping
The
in like
tofu
Nissans
mountain.
and Mitsubishis
Yeah.
and all these kind of
No
crazy Jap
way.
cars.
Can
and
you
they drive
actually do
all
that?
around.
Yo,
yeah.
I want to do that.
Yo,
We
we're
were
going to
trying
Japan.
to book it as well. Remember?
Yeah, it's meant to be real,
Can we do
and
it
obviously
on our
the
next
view,
trip?
like as you're driving to the top of this mountain,
Yeah,
like
man.
an R33 skyline, it's just like,
Wow.
Listen,
Crazy.
it's running in the 90s where you're going down an
Yeah.
well, yeah, you
alley.
have, you have a
play
guy,
the Eurobeat.
and he pulls up, and he like shows you all the parts from the game and stuff, and you drive all the way up, and like they send it pretty hard
No
apparently.
way.
Like, yeah, it's meant to be crazy.
Dude, I'm going back to Japan. That's like a dream come true to drive an AE86. Like the Initial D
Yeah,
car.
yeah.
Are we running this? Or do you want to do the 80s, the time travel one, another day?
We can.
We might have to, because I feel like we'll get a whole nother podcast out of the time travel one.
Yeah, probably. I didn't realize this one went over time so much, bro.
This is-
The rest of it was just on Japan, too.
Yeah, it was.
We should have been to Japan. Honestly, Japan. I've been to America as well. I didn't even mention that. I've been to America.
don't worry
like 2
about
times,
America.
man.
I've been to America as a kid, but I don't really count it because I don't remember
Yeah.
anything at all.
It's probably a good thing. America's
Yeah.
pretty.
I went to America twice and I got shot twice. I don't know what's going on there, bro.
It's like, yeah, I went to America, but I blocked that part of my life out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so weird. I came back fucking wounded, man.
Before we go, I was speaking of America. I was watching the NBA. So you know when you watch the NBA in the end on its on the website, and you can pick your home team,
Yeah.
and you watch that specific live view. If
It's
you're
like-
watching
yeah,
the
yeah,
Lakers, it's as if you're watching the TV in Los Angeles.
Yep.
So all the ads are from LA.
Oh.
You're watching prime athletes. Prime athletes. You're watching LeBron James jump 7,000 feet into the sky, dunk it, 3 points, this and that, and then it would be like Carl's Jr. 6 size burger
Yeah.
stacked with onion rings and diabetes.
Yeah, their
built
ads
in.
are crazy, bro.
Dude, have you seen how big their drinks? Everything's just so over.
But
the
it's
top.
insane
Like,
because it's like, oh man, that was a really cool dunk. Oh man, now I want to go get cholesterol. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I
Budweiser.
wish I could do that.
yeah. And you're like, wow, that burger's huge.
Yeah.
it's crazy, and the sponsors
$5.
are all the price of it. It's just like 1.5 liter cokes.
Yeah,
and stuff.
man.
And it's like it's just crazy that like you watch any of those games, it's like it's always like gambling, alcohol, like testosterone
Yeah.
boosters. It's like ads in America are wild. It's like,
Pharmaceutical, bro. Pharmaceutical
Dude.
ads in America are
Dude,
freaking
I
wild,
love
bro.
it.
you might be entitled to financial compensation.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, I'm just trying to watch Jordan or something, bro. Come on, man.
Come on, man. I just want to watch the Lakers.
It's like I want to think about that time I got like fucking rectal cancer and now I'm entitled to like a class action lawsuit.
Yeah,
Let's not watch the Lakers.
I didn't get health insurance in America.
Yeah,
so.
man.
That lady on a scooter hit me. Like, I can get compensation. Let me finish his.
It's always
Angus.
that and Geico.
Yeah.
Geico.
The green lizard.
Yeah.
That guy's always on the freaking American TV.
For a while, my dad was watching all these American shows on one of those like real dodgy things you
Oh, the
buy,
weapon
like St.
boxes,
Albans, the
yeah,
little boxes
yeah.
you buy from like some mart in St Albans for
Yeah.
$50 and it connects you to all the American
Yeah.
channels. And,
Little
like,
illegal
it only
shit.
lasts
Yeah.
about 6 months before it gets cut off.
Yeah.
And you use it, like, it's so dodgy. And he was watching all the American channels and, like, every ad, like, would be like, yeah, you want to up your testosterone. And my dad's, like, watching this and he's like, man, Americans are really weird. And it's like, man, you're going to last longer, you're going to lift more.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you never see shit like this on
Nah,
Australian
man, you
TV.
see Jonathan Brown eating a meat pie. Are you serious?
Yeah, and it would be alcohol. Just the ads
Everything.
there. It's like there's no... I don't know if it's like a lack of regulation or you can just really advertise and you can
Anything.
claim whatever you want too. Like I don't know whether because we have the TGA, it's like you have to be much more like careful. You can't just go on TV and claim like our product will make you. It's going to make it bigger. But like that's the ads in America.
Yeah, they
it's
do
like
it.
there's
They
no
don't care.
oversight. It's just like, yeah, you're going to be LeBron James.
Oh yeah, they would just like full name other companies and be like, we're better than them.
Yeah.
Just name
Just
drop.
free for all.
Yeah,
Just like-
100%.
it would be like you have a JB ad and they're like, yeah, those pussies are good guys. Don't even look at them, bro.
Yeah.
Like they
Nice-
are shit.
Nice
Come to
blue
us.
shirts, you dogs.
Uniforms, dweebs.
Yeah,
Come
even
on.
though we own them. Yeah.
We've got people with green hair and piercings.
And lots of body
And
tattoos.
midlife crisis, JB high five. Speaking of TVs, before we go, TV in Japan is amazing. You'll be flicking through the TVs, you'll see one TV show where it's called Is It Chocolate or Not?
Oh man.
And they actually have to bite shit. And some, like it'll be a shoe. And they'll bite it. And then it comes off and it's chocolate and everyone goes, yeah, come on! And then you flick it and you'd be like, this is Dragon Ball Z. Dragon Ball Z's on TV just normally. Oh, what's next? Full Metal Alchemist. Like, our anime is their just... Is their Winx Club.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? It's like...
It's their Blue Water High.
Bold and the Beautiful, bro. Like, fucking.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, most
man.
of the time I don't even know what's going on, especially in the game shows.
Dude,
It's
the
just
game
all
shows
so
are elite.
entertaining.
Because they're just so full of energy and you're like, what
It's
is
just the most
going on?
random shit.
Yeah.
I'm just like, what?
Bro, anytime I watched TV in Japan was when I was in the Capsule Hotel.
Oh,
That
yeah.
was the only time I watched Japan. I mean, watch TV.
We'd do it between outings.
Yeah.
So we'd go in rest and then we'd book it
See,
again.
I'd try avoid phone, TV, things that I can consume over here, like
Yeah.
online.
Yeah.
I would just be trying to get out to those like pubs or those like
Yeah.
not even pubs, but just all the like. I'd be trying to visit anywhere I can.
Yeah.
And just things that you just cannot do anywhere else. Like,
We're going to do a Japan specific podcast, I think. A Japan specific episode.
Yep.
Yeah.
Tell why ways missed out on.
Yeah. But on that note, Gia, sign us off.
Alright, thanks everyone for listening. I know it's been a bit of a weird one, but hopefully we'll touch back on Japan again, hopefully, like we always do. We always somehow bring up Japan. It always comes up.
It's a big influence in our lives.
Yeah.
Japan!
We're bring a big bunch of weebs. So yeah, we'll definitely do another podcast.
I'm going to
based
go
on
home and
Japan.
sleep with my waifu pillow.
My full
I
body
actually
pillow.
have one in. I'm pretty sure it's in my bedroom right
Is
now.
it?
Not set up, but I have it folded up very neatly. I think.
She's sleeping.
Well, it's not on the pillow. It's just I have the covering for it. I don't know what's happened. To the
Bullshit. Yeah. We're going to go cuddle and watch JoJo's now, guys.
Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week on everything in between. See ya.
Peace.
Peace.
What song is that?